Smurfy greetings, YouTubers. It is I, the Hellgear, and I have something very special that I would like to show to all of you. It took a while for this to come in the mail, but glad I have it. And it's this wonderful thingy. Boom! Smurf Stories, The Village Behind the Wall. This is the book that, as you can see, new comics inspired by the hit movie. Now, this particular book, done by Paper Cuts, well, Paper Cuts published this one, but it is essentially a Smurfs graphic novel. It has 5 stories regarding our wonderful blue babes in the grove. And that's what's great about this book, because unlike the other book of the Lost Village, and I want to clear this up, this is not the junior novel of the Lost Village movie. This is a completely different thing. So, let's just turn this around, read this off for all of you guys. So here we are. All in all, it's just another Smurf in the wall. So much light, I can't even see. There's some black writing on here, I just really cannot see. Okay, let me hold it like this. Here we are. So I'm just going to read this because it's kind of rough seeing because the light wants to be a joker. Alrighty, so here we go. I'll just read this off for you guys. The world of the Smurfs expands. As the brainy Smurf, Smurfette, hefty Smurf, and clumsy Smurf discover a new village filled with a population of girl Smurfs. A whole new world of challenges and adventures await the Smurfs, featuring new characters from the film Smurfs: The Lost Village. Paper Cuts presents the Smurfs by Peewit. These are the classic comic characters that inspired the cartoons, toys, games, and all-new, fully animated movie Smurfs: The Lost Village. So, I wanted to show this to you guys and talk about this for a minute because, for one, this is a really nice book. You know, I've been looking for this everywhere. And inside you have, as it shows right here, right there at the top, see, we got 5 new stories by Peewit starring the new Smurfs. So essentially, it's Grove stories. And I'm not going to read this to you guys all today, but I am going to do a little thing that's from the back, because this wonderful, okay, I guess I can show that off. Yeah, in Belgium, the Franco-Belgian version, they had a different artwork, and that different artwork looked like this, which really nice here. See, this is the artwork that the Belgians had, which I would have liked to see this right here on the cover, but you know, we didn't get that lucky. But it's good that they included it in here. Anyway, what I wanted to read was this wonderful little excerpt here on Paper Cuts. Let me try to get all of this in here. Here. Oh, man, the camera just will not focus here. Wow, that's just bad. Okay. Apparently, Jesus, I can't even read that for you guys. Alright, fine, I'll just read it off cam. Welcome to the Smurfs, the village behind the wall. This thing! The graphic novel with 5 all-new stories featuring the new Smurfs introduced in Smurfs: The Lost Village, the hit movie from Sony Animation. I'm Jim Sailorcup, the editor-in-chief of Paper Cuts, of the official North American publisher of the Smurfs comics. Paper Cuts is dedicated to publishing great graphic novels for all ages, and that obviously includes the Smurfs. While this particular graphic novel may include characters such as Smurf Willow and Smurfstorm, who first appeared in the movie, did you know that the Smurfs, like Batman, Turtles, Doctor Strange, and countless other movie franchises, first appeared in comics? Of course they did. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, you know. Peyo first worked in... He did the comics as well, but the Smurfs weren't their own little thing. They were actually secondary characters. But everyone fell in love with them, and he decided to make them their own thing. Which, as we all know, he worked with a wonderful magazine called Spiro. So, flash forward to today, we have Smurf comics like this. This is a great book. Let me read some more of this. In other words, this isn't really a comic book tie-in to a movie or TV property. This is a comics property that has been successfully adapted in many forms of media. Film, animation, video games, blah blah blah. Sometimes comic characters change in such media adaptations, as well as many new characters appear suddenly as well. For example, Superman didn't really fly until he was animated in a series of cartoons. Blah, let's pass through all this crap. We don't need to hear about all the other people. We're going to talk about Smurfs here. Here we are. Likewise, the new female Smurfs made their debut in Smurfs The Lost Village. But contrary to belief, Smurfette wasn't the only female Smurf prior to the latest movie. And that's something I mentioned when I did a review of The Lost Village. There was no nanny. There were no Smurflings like Sassat. There was no baby Smurf. So the whole thing about that took place a lot earlier, before all this. And again, I'd show this to you, but it's like super, like, unreadable here. You know, that I won't, like, kill your eyes with that. I'll just read it off to you. So, and they mentioned all this. While this book features the newest Smurfs comics ever published, let's go back to where it all started. Here we go, some excerpt. In 1958, a young cartoonist named Pierre Culliford, working under the pen name Peyo, a nickname given to him by a cousin of his, was writing and drawing a light-hearted medieval adventure strip called Johan and Peewit, or as it is called in the Belgian Franco, Johan et Peewit. That's Peewit in the French version, the original French version of this. For the legendary Belgian comic magazine Spiro. Again, I mentioned that. Johan was a royal page and a sort of knight in training, and Peewit, or Peewit, the court jester. In a story entitled La Flûte à Six Trous, or The Flute with Six Holes, our heroes on a mission to find a magical flute, which I believe that is a story, Smurfs and the Magical Flute. So many tie-ins to all of this. La 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 la. Find a village of blue elves known as Les Strumps, or as they've known to be in English, the Smurfs. Those minor characters appearing on just 21 pages of a 60-page story wound up stealing the show from Johan and Peewit and went on to appear in a graphic novel series of their own, which continues to this day. Interestingly enough, the very first time a Smurf appeared in the Johan and Peewit story is not unlike how the first were introduced in the latest batch in the Lost Village. All we see are a couple of eyes hidden behind a few leaves, which is funny because in the first teaser trailer, after the whole flower issue, we see all these leaves have eyes and whatnot, which that's what you love about people when they create stuff like this. They take references from the olden days and those olden ways. Funny how, one way or another, we keep going from the present to the past of the Smurfs. Peyo was nothing if not productive. I'm skipping ahead because this next paragraph is like not tertiary here. And I guess I might as well just show off this wonderful picture right there. The French, wonderful French cover of this. They should make a poster of that, man. They really should make a poster of this particular page because it just looks so awesome. You got everybody in the background here. Okay, I'm going to hold it like this so it can actually be seen. And I'm going to read some more. There we go. Peyo was nothing if not productive. Before he created the Smurfs and even Johan and Peewit, he did a comic strip about a cat, a sort of precursor to Gargamel's pet Azrael, called Pussy, or as we dubbed it in the English version, Pussycat. Yeah, Pussy, P-O-U-S-S-Y. Ah, the French, man. Ah, gotta love the French people. The language of love. Oh. Gotta love that. Much closer in the style of conventional newspaper comic strips, most Pussycat strips are a few panels devoted to telling a single gag. Yet Peyo's clear storytelling style and gentle humor is evident in every strip, from the earliest crudely drawn strips to the polished later strips down by the Peyo studio artists. Paper Cuts is devoted to publishing as many of Peyo's works as possible in beautiful editions, as well as the Pussycat strips in English. Let's see here. I can fast forward through all of this because it's more wonderful stuff. They talk about other works of his. And of course Smurfs and Friends. So, one more shot here. Again, let's zoom in right there. I'm not sure who this is at the top. That's not Smurf Lily. Smurf Lily is right here next to Clumsy. Then we got another chick up there. I don't know who that is. We got Brainy over there, Hefty right there, Smurf Blossom, Smurfette, and Smurfstorm right here. I would say that's Smurf Jade, but that's not Jade's flower. Huh. Here we go. Leave it like that. Show that whole thing. Unfortunately, on Christmas Eve, 1992, Peyo passed away due to a heart attack. While Peyo may no longer be with us, his joyous spirit lives on, both in Smurfs: The Lost Village and in all the Smurfs graphic novels. So, case in point, this is actually the first of the new books that is going to be portraying our lovely blue babes of the Grove. Why did I say boo babes? We don't do that. It's blue babes. There's going to be another book coming out. It's called The Betrayal of Smurf Blossom. And I plan to get that one. But they don't plan on releasing it in English until 2019. So, I'm going to leave this question for you guys. Would you like me to read these stories that are around here? You know, the 5 stories about this book? I will gladly read them if you would like. You let me know in the comments section below. I think that'll be a decision for all of the other Smurf members of the community to decide. But with that being said, I'm going to sign off now. I figured I'd just show off this wonderful little piece of Smurf collection because apparently it's not in a movie adaptation. It's not like the Junior novelization. It's not a movie adapt. It's all new stories, which apparently, from what I found out, one of them actually tells us what happened when Smurf Lily ran away back to the Grove. You guys remember that scene in the movie where she first sees Smurfette and she runs away? Well, one of these stories, from what I've been told in this wonderful book, explains what happened on her way back, or how she ended up meeting Smurfette. And the other 4 are like fun little tales and whatnot. But again, I will let you guys decide if you want me to read these stories on the channel or not. You know, that's up to you. But for now, I take my goose from the oven because I'm done. Thank you very much for hearing me out, and I will see you guys next time.